Hey guys, it's Chelsea from The Financial Diet, and this week's video is brought to you by CuriosityStream. And today I wanted to take a second to do something to make us all feel a little bit better about where we are right now. It can be so easy to get down on ourselves about where we stand with money, especially when we might be surrounded by colleagues or friends or people on social media who seem to have it so much more together than we do. And with most Americans living paycheck to paycheck and around half of us being unable to cover an unexpected $400 emergency, there can be a lot of negative to focus on. But part of what keeps us going with money and what keeps us improving every day is reminding ourselves that we're often doing a lot better than we think we are. And frankly, even just by watching this channel and having an interest in your own money, you're already doing pretty good, compared to most people who try and not think about the subject. Anyway, to start this Tuesday off on a great foot, let's get right into 29 signs you're better with money than you think. Number 1, you know what you have, you know what you owe, you know what you earn, and you have at least a few money goals you'd like to reach. Just knowing exactly where you stand financially is often half the battle. And even if you can't do anything to change your situation today, understanding your situation perfectly is always the first step. Number 2, you pay your bills on time each month and aren't constantly left with that sinking feeling of, oh shit, did I forget to pay my credit card again? Whether that means putting everything on auto pay or filling up your calendars with reminders and alarms, or radically reducing your bills down to only the ones you know you can manage, just paying your bills on time each month does so much to radically improve your financial life. I would rather have a little bit of money but perfect control over it than a ton of money and constantly be forgetting to pay my bills. And similarly, number 3, you have mastered the art of setting reminders for yourself, keeping a clean calendar for all of your personal and financial to-dos, and putting all those useful little apps your phone and computer have to good use. Number 4, you don't have to check your bank account balance while waiting in line at the grocery store. Even if you don't have a lot of money, that means you check your balance before you go so that you can plan all of your shopping according to what you have. Because no one likes that feeling of a checkout line freakout. Number 5, you actively use at least one app that helps you curb some of your bad habits or keep you on track for some of your goals. Number 6, you've stopped feeling like a meal out is incomplete without ordering a fancy adult beverage to go along with it, which is often where you waste most of your money. Number 7, you've come up with at least a few go-to alternatives for hanging out that aren't let's just go to a bar or restaurant and spend a ton of money. Number 8, you put a little bit towards your savings goals each month, even if it's just a few dollars. Number 9, whenever you cook, you always make sure to portion out leftovers to either put in the fridge and have later that week, or portion out into nice little responsible adult TV dinners that you then put in the freezer. And although it may not be the most sexy meal, you always make sure to eat your leftovers. I just had some leftovers last night. And number 10, you cook, period. And you don't make those stupid jokes about how you're like Carrie Bradshaw and keep your shoes in your oven or whatever, which is, aside from being a fire hazard of the highest order, also just like a really tired joke and really stupid. And if you're out there saying, who doesn't cook? Come to New York, because half of my social media feeds are people who quasi-brag about the fact that they can't make anything for themselves that isn't eggs or eggs. It's not chic. Number 11, you are a frequent user of the public transportation that is available to you, whether that means choosing it over Ubers even late nights when you're super tired and your feet hurt, or swapping it out for driving when it's easily accessible, or just being thoughtful about how you can minimize the amount of gas-guzzling, money-wasting, solo car experiences you have to do every week. Number 12, you say no when you can't afford something. You're honest about it not being in your budget. And you don't either agree to do it and then flinch when you have to swipe your credit card or awkwardly back out at the last minute pretending to be sick. You know that it's not in my budget are not dirty words. Number 13, you know what an emergency fund is, why it's so important, and you either already have one or are actively working on building it. Number 14, you talk to your friends about money in a way that doesn't feel judgy or awkward and have made it clear to them that they can come to you if they're ever feeling like they want to talk about it, and that they can always be honest with you if something isn't in their budget. Bonus points if you have a little group chat that's all about money. Number 15, no matter how much you're able to save each month, you know that that savings has to be automated because you know the more that you see it, the less likely it will be to actually make it to those savings accounts. You're all about reducing that temptation. Number 16, you don't buy things that you otherwise wouldn't buy at full price just because it's on sale. You know that the whole concept of saving money on something is that you spend less on it than you otherwise would have, not that you just randomly justify a bunch of purchases because they happen to be on discount. For example, the other day, there was this little machine you put on your kitchen counter that makes the little tiny sonic balls of ice that I love so much. And it was on sale from $400 to $219. And I know that this is gonna sound strange, but I fucking love ice so much. No one could love something more than I love ice. But I didn't buy it because I knew in my heart of hearts that it is not worth $400 to me, and so it's not worth the sale price. And I can just go to the bodega and get a bag of ice whenever I want it. Number 17, you have a good idea of what items are worth really investing in and which items should just be gotten cheaply and efficiently, and you know how to spend your money accordingly. Number 18, you do your grocery shopping regularly with a meal plan in mind, always with a list, and never while you are really hungry or slightly drunk. I'm looking at you post-brunch grocery trips. One time when I went to the grocery store when I was slightly drunk after brunch, I literally bought a $13 jar of lemon curd that I completely forgot I had and then found when I was moving out of that apartment. I'm being asked off camera what I would use lemon curd for. Considering that I cannot bake to save my life, that's a good question. But let's be honest, 4 Mimosa Chelsea was lemon curd. How Ina Garden. And the jar was so beautiful. RIP. Number 19, you always make sure to get a doggy bag of half your restaurant meal out to eat for lunch the next day. Because A, you know that that is a great money-saving tip. B, you know that restaurant food is ridiculously too big and no one needs to be eating all that stuff in one sitting. And C, you know that there is no greater joy than knowing all day that you have delicious restaurant leftovers to look forward to. And similarly, there's no greater rage in this world than finding out someone else has eaten your restaurant leftovers. That should be cause for murder. Number 20, you know what your worst spending triggers are and are pretty good at avoiding them. If that's specific stores, having your credit card saved in your web browsers, hanging out with specific people, or even going out on specific days of the week, you know how to be the master of your own weaknesses. Number 21, even if right now you can't do things like invest or buy a home or even open a retirement account, you know what these things are, you know the key terms, and you know what it will take to get you to these places, provided you want to get there. For example, some people might not want to buy a home. Just because you can't quite yet do something doesn't mean you should be totally ignorant about it. Number 22, you take advantage of your 401k if you have one, and you freaking hit that employer match. If you're lucky enough to have an employer match, you max that thing out. Number 23, you put effort into keeping your home organized and clean and a place where you want to be productive and spend more time, so you're not constantly having to spend money escaping it. Even if you're not in love with your current space, you're making the most of it. Number 24, you've mastered the fine art of knowing when the bill should just be split evenly because everyone's differences are minuscule and you're not trying to torture the waiter or waitress, and when everyone should pay what they owe because one person went fucking crazy and got 3 courses and 4 drinks, and another person just had a salad and water. While you should never be the person who's making everyone's life miserable over 30 cents, you should also not be the person who gets stuck with a $40 bill when you ordered $12 worth of food. 25, you know what your credit score is, and you know how to improve it, even if you're limited on how you can act on it today. Number 26, you know what is a competitive salary for your current job, and if you're not currently at a competitive salary, you have a plan for how you're going to get there. Number 27, you have health insurance. Please do whatever you can to get health insurance. We'll link you in the description to a great explainer on how to get insurance if you're totally confused on what to do. Number 28, you go through your account statements regularly to make sure that you are not paying for anything that you shouldn't be paying for, that there's no weird or fraudulent purchases, or just that you're not wasting your money on stupid stuff you can't even remember. You should have an intimate knowledge of your own account statements, and once you get used to looking at them, not looking at them will be what feels weird. And lastly, number 29, you're not afraid to ask questions about money, you're curious about what you don't know about, and you're not afraid to make it a topic of conversation, because you know that before anything else, getting comfortable with the language and idea of money is a first step to really getting better with it. And even if you're far from perfect, you know that money should never be a source of shame. And if you're curious to learn more about the world around you, a wonderful place to get started is CuriosityStream. CuriosityStream is a subscription streaming service founded by the creator of the Discovery Channel, and made for those of you with no shame in your nerd game. With over 2,400 documentary and nonfiction titles from some of the world's best filmmakers, including exclusive originals like The Birth of the Internet, The Grammar of Happiness, or Conscious Capitalism. Get unlimited access starting at just $2.99 a month, and for TFT viewers, the first 31 days are completely free if you sign up at curiositystream.com/thefinancialdiet or use the promo code TheFinancialDiet. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to come back every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for new and awesome videos. Bye!